I really hope you guys are ready because over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be getting a lot of news, MMORPG news in general, but we're also kind of on the cusp of some big New World announcements, especially when it comes to the expansion. Now, if you guys like New World content, you're already in the right spot. That's what I cover here, but I do have a passion for MMOs, and yesterday I talked a little bit about how Lord of the Rings is going to be a positive impact on New World. If you didn't see that video, be sure to check out the channel homepage here, but also feel free to check out my other channels because I do cover MMORPGs. The reason is because it makes sense from a YouTube perspective. It just makes a lot of sense because maybe you like New World, but you don't like Blue Protocol. That's perfectly fair. But at least this way, if you are interested in a specific game, I'm going to give you the no-nonsense coverage that you deserve. And that's really been my mission for the last several years. So thank you guys so much for journeying me on my dyslexic inability to speak mission in my goal to try to bring you guys some of the best content here on the platform. Now, that all being said, hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Brian if you happen to be new, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming and checking out today's MMO discussion as we're talking about kind of expansion predictions, Summer Games Fest, but ultimately asking the question, is New World going to come to console? And the reason why this answer for me is actually yes, is I've been told that has been a part of the plan for a while. Now, not in any hard set date, like it's going to come to console this summer or this fall. But in terms of when you think about the MMORPG and how it is evolving and how it's having this resurgence in players' minds and in their time buckets, try to come up with a word other than bucket, but we're going to stick with it. And console is a must. If you think about Final Fantasy XIV, console is a must. If you think about World of Warcraft, they are moving more and more towards native controller support, which is a prerequisite for running these games on consoles. And that's where New World is in this interesting and precarious position. Interesting because it doesn't yet have native controller support. It's done through Steam. And if you guys want to play this game with controller, I highly recommend you check out my guides section here on the channel, as I like to help you get started. I've been struggling with the Steam Deck as of late. I do note that this game runs occasionally on Steam Deck and it occasionally doesn't, but GeForce Now is also a great service that I use to play New World on when I'm not on my gaming PC, and it's a great option for you guys as well. Now, that's not sponsored in any measure. I happily pay them, and I just am very, very pleased with the service itself. But on that kind of note, we also have had the fact that controller support is confirmed to be coming. Native controller support confirmed by Scott, the director, Scott Lane in this case, saying that he wants to bring native controller support. It just feels like natural. And the team behind it was the team behind the gear sets, which from my kind of timing perspective puts it at about maybe 6 to 9 months after the gear sets, or if they were already working on it, maybe a little bit sooner. I think the expansion is the perfect time to introduce native controller support to the game. And I think that's because you're going to have a lot more people willing to check it out. Again, as any hype cycle goes, that's one of the things that comes down to the MMOs, where people like to talk about the health of the game, but they really kind of miss the hype cycles of the game. And if you start to kind of see how that happens, what we're probably going to see here coming up with the Summer Games Fest, if not sooner, is the expansion trailer. The reason why I think the expansion trailer is going to be important is that it's going to give us the name of the expansion. It's going to give us maybe a couple of key features, of which we know some are coming, like mounts and things of that nature, map redesigns and reworks like we've seen them doing throughout. But at its core, I think we're also going to see the concept and the roadmap for consoles to be even stronger. And what really makes me that confident, outside of just the sheer amount of work, when you look at every MMO outside of Lost Ark, which also they've been talking about wanting to bring to consoles, you look at every MMO launching, it's all PC console, also with the idea of crossplay. Blue Protocol still hasn't been fully confirmed, but the devs have said they're working on crossplay for Blue Protocol. But also on yesterday's announcement of the Lord of the Rings MMO, built on the Azoth Engine, They're talking about investing in the Azoth engine, making it the Azoth 2.0 engine. New World is going to immediately start to benefit from that, because the work that they're putting in is the work that they're testing in New World to see, essentially get real-time telemetry, look at real-time performance, bring us real-time and cool systems that they can then say, hey, this is working, let's need to tweak this. So Lord of the Rings, honestly, is probably going to be one of the biggest MMO launches this side of an MMO launch. When people start talking about the things out there, I don't know. If I was going to put money down on it, I'm very, very interested in see how Lord of the Rings is going to ultimately perform at launch and then beyond. But we can talk about that in another MMO discussion in the future. But the thing that is really interesting is that the announcement came that Lord of the Rings is coming to console as well as PC. And I think that's a critical component in the Azoth engine. And that means, what better way to test that process, learn that process, make sure you have that process down to a T, is with New World. And that would make basically Lost Ark the only game that they have that is not also on console. And I think that's also coming too, if I'm going to be honest. Now, who knows what that roadmap looks like? Who knows what that timeline looks like? Again, I'm not trying to sit here and say by this fall you'll be able to play it on your PS5 or your Xbox Series X. But wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be cool to time something like this with the expansion? I think that would be both exciting and, obviously thrilling. The other elephant in the room is the SEA region. When we're talking about the game and its state, when we talk about Blue Protocol and Throne of Liberty and its state, one of the things that they are working towards but not ready to fully publicly commit to is an SEA region. And this doesn't mean that, I have any inside knowledge, not at all. But Throne of Liberty will be published in Japan by by AGS, and that's something that could give a lot of hope for those of you guys in that region, and that could benefit New World and Lost Ark and all the games that they're set to release. And I think that is one of the key regions and one of the key strategies that they have up their sleeve. That's also going to be something very interesting when it comes down to the conversation about games health, where then all of a sudden you're looking at these games, AGS, as a real worldwide studio, hitting basically every major time zone on the planet. And I, for one, wish them luck, but we'll have to wait and see. So there's three critical components that I think is dramatically going to benefit the state of the game, the health of the game, and overall your enjoyment of the game. Cross-play, cross-save, console support, controller support, SEA region support, and then this would all move us into obviously more content and the expansion in and of itself. And I think we're going to start to see more of that. If not here at the beginning of June with Summer Games Fest, I do wonder the timing that they will take to kind of drop that expansion. Summer Games Fest seems to be the perfect opportunity to drop the expansion name, title. Obviously, we'll get a dev update that will lead us right into Season 2 and kick us off into a brand new hype season for New World, and one that we should hopefully all be very excited to participate in. Now, before I leave you today, I still need to dot some T's and cross some I's, but last year we did the Eternum Fishing Classic, raising money for St. Jude. So I think we raised roughly around $2,500 to help sick kids and help St. Jude's provide for them. That is coming back this year. So if you're a streamer, content creator, and you want to team up, be sure to get involved in the Discord. We're going to be starting those conversations real soon. My hope is to reach out to AGS and see about what we can do in terms of that. The leaderboards are a thing this year. They were not last year. And my hope is that we can come up with a really cool strategy for both rewarding all the various different legendaries caught. My thought is that up to maybe $500 I would donate to St. Jude's personally for every legendary caught through the season 2 part of the Eternum Fishing Classic. That's just one idea that I'm tossing out there. Then obviously we do some streaming piece of this, maybe try to get more streamers involved and try to catch a wider range of players over a longer period of time and catch fish as a part of the season 2, as a part of the summer medley fair that should be returning this summer as a part of the game itself. So if you're interested in a part of that, either participating or if you're interested in trying to get the word out, be sure to keep it locked here to the channel, keep it locked in Discord, and follow over on Twitter as well. All the links are in the description if you need them. And then with that, I'm going to wrap it up with you guys for today's MMO discussion, and hopefully I will see you guys soon in my next video. But until then, take care.